So if things couldn't get creepier before we're starting this episode, we're actually getting some disturbance from outside our window.
That's loud.
It sounds like tapping almost.
Stop. Una. You don't hear from the outside now. We don't hear you no
Maybe it's just
more. Wind.
some wind, or
Gunshots.
it almost sounds like gunshots from far away though.
From inside.
Well, from
From
inside?
inside, it sounds like gunshots from far
Oh,
away.
it sounds like gunshots from inside from far away. But if you look at the video that he's looking at, can you show your video? This is our porch.
And it sounds coming from behind the camera.
It
Is it? Can't tell.
You
I
can't
heard.
tell.
I heard. Bow, bow, bow.
It's weird because my camera keeps failing, disconnecting.
Like listen to it.
The dogs are barking now. Yeah. Sorry, guys. We're kind of trying to figure this out. Anyways, while he checks on that, I really
Not going out
appreciate.
there.
Not out there, but just something on camera. While he does that, I really appreciate everybody for people that do listen to me. A few people that listen to me. I think it's like 3 people.
Better than nothing.
um, Make sure you check out my links: Facebook, Instagram. Make sure you DM me. I do a lot more content than this. I'll leave the links down below. Usually, what we do is me and my brother sit down here and I tell him, I read about some, horror stories that are from Mexico most of the time, or Chile, Argentina, places like that. And we bring them on here and we kind of tell everybody about it. I do have some experiences, but maybe later on I'll tell you guys a little bit about it. Today's story is going to be about a group of young teens south of Mexico. I think they were in the thinking this story's from Nayarit. And I feel like the further you go down into Mexico, the deeper, and like not the deeper, but like,
What's wrong?
yeah, you kind of get like to the heart of Mexico, and it's like the stories there get intense. You start experiencing more stuff when you're there and stuff. But there is a group of teenagers that invite one of their friends out to camp on a weekend. The girl was kind of nervous because she had barely known her friends for a year, and they really didn't invite her out like that. But she was like, you know what, f this. Like, I want to do something different this weekend. She has her parents, and they go. She goes to one of their houses, and from there, they ride to go get the rest of the friends, and they are gonna go by this lake, like 30 minutes away from town. And the thing about this lake is that there has been a lot of sightings of witches,
Mm.
and people tell stories about that lake,
Yeah.
like don't go at night, and you don't want to be there. They might sacrifice you and stuff. All that is just like tales, like nobody really knows that this actually happens there.
Yeah.
They just say they've seen it. They've seen women dancing around fire pits and stuff. Anyways, they get there. Everything seems normal. There's your lake, your parking spots to get out. You grab your stuff and you go up in the little mountain. So as they're making their way away from the parking spot, they gotta walk like an hour. It's pretty big. This park is pretty big. They walk an hour, and they get to a little camping spot, and they found it kind of weird because the fire pit was like just turned off. Like it was smoking a little bit. And one of the friends was like, it's kind of weird because the guy that I talked to was like, nobody's been at this camping spot for like over 2 weeks. But they were like, it's okay. Let's just, everybody make yourselves at home. Put up your little tents and stuff. Get comfortable. And this is the thing. These friends that she met, they liked the paranormal. They would do videos. They would talk about it. They would go to like abandoned houses, abandoned churches, and stuff like that. When the sun was going down, they were all hanging out by the lake. And one of the guys was like, are you guys ready for tonight? And everybody was like, oh yeah, dude, it's gonna be so exciting. We don't even know what's gonna happen. I wonder who's gonna be there. I wonder who's gonna talk to us. I wonder who's gonna try to manifest themselves. And the girl was just like, like, what are you guys talking about? And he's like, oh, it's because, see, we brought a Ouija board. And it's just, the girl's like, oh, my parents told me that is, to stay away from that stuff. She's heard about it. She hasn't really heard or seen anything or, heard stories from other people about it. So she was just trying to tell them, the guy's like, no, I don't want to be a part of this. And the guys were like, oh, it's harmless. All you gotta do is put your hands on it, and basically at the end of the game, you just gotta say goodbye, and make sure that the game says goodbye to you. She's like, oh, I don't know, it's kind of risky. And the guy, her girlfriend, kind of, tells her, it's okay. Like we're all here, we're together, we're all safe. She was like, the guys are carrying, so she was like, okay, it's fine, whatever. It's starting to get late now, and they make a campfire and stuff, and they all grab a wooden a log, they set it in the middle. Everybody grabs a spot around it, and they all put their hands on it. And at this moment, they start asking questions. They're like, they start off with, "Are you here? If is somebody listening?" Nothing. They're like, if anybody can hear us, say yes or no. Nothing. And then all of a sudden, everybody takes their hands off, and they're just kind of like, is this even gonna work? Like. And then the girl's like, "Oh, let's try one more time." The one that was like, and I'm not gonna do it. They all put their hands back on it, and before they even say anything or ask it a question, it moves by itself, and it starts spelling out a name, and it spells out the girl's name, Jenny. And it starts going Jenny, and then it starts spelling something else out, and it spells out what is it? I think it was like something like evil. I don't know if it was evil or something like something no more sinister. I can't really remember now that I think about it. But everybody lets go except for Jenny. They all get freaked out, and then for some reason Jenny, like, she's still holding on, but it's not her no more. She like does this head knockback thing, and her neck kind of cricks and turns and all this stuff, and she starts saying each one of their names as she's holding to the board. She's holding on to the board, and everybody's, f this, everybody grabs their stuff and they leave her there. And it's just like, for the night, they all went to a nearby hotel.
Mm.
And in the morning, they were like, let's go back. Jenny's still there. She's like, whatever happened last night, like she's probably over it. Whatever happened. They get there, and Jenny's gone. Her tent's not there. None of her clothes is there. And they're just like, what the heck? So they contact like a park ranger,
Mm.
and they're like, do you know what happened to the girl that was here last night? And the park ranger's like,
Sorry, guys.
I haven't seen nobody here. I walked through here like at 3 a.m. because he said he saw smoke, so he wanted to check it out. And he said he hasn't seen nobody here. There's nobody here. And they're just like, oh shit,
So she must have like whatever took her must have been like right after they left.
Yeah, and this is the thing. They're like, okay, well, we need to call somebody. And he was like, they can make a report with a park ranger with the missing person. And then out of nowhere, Jenny walks up behind him. She's like, hey, guys. And everybody's just like kind of freaked out, like, Jenny, are you okay? Like, what happened to you last night? And she's just like, what happened to what? She's like, I grabbed my stuff and I went down by the river. And everybody's just kind of confused. Like, what the heck's going on?
Mm.
And the park ranger's like, so what did you guys want to report? They were like, no, never mind, nothing, like. So he just went about his day, and then they were all trying to talk to her and see what happened. She was like, what happened? Like, last night you started calling all of our names in a weird, like, evil way. And they were like, that wasn't you. She was like, kind of like, I don't know what happened.
Mm.
She was just telling them that she blacked out and she woke up, passed out by the river, but her tent was there. So she was like, well, she didn't see any of them. She was like, maybe, I don't know, maybe they're here. It was dark and I couldn't see anything. So she was like, I went into my tent and I fell asleep. And then they were like, do we want to keep staying out here, or I'll just go leave already? And Jenny's just like, no, I think we should stay out here. It's fine. And they're just like kind of freaked out, like, should we? Like, what the hell happened last night? Jenny's like nothing happened. We're all okay. We can just hang out another night and chill. So everybody's like, you know what? I think she's right. So the day goes by, and then there's this old lady that's walking by. They're all having lunch at the campfire. And there's this old lady that comes by, and she's like, oh, look at you kids. Like, we haven't had visitors in years. And the guy was just like, wait, like, is this park not like operating, or like are people not coming here and stuff? She was like, well, ever since the rumor went around about witches and people seeing evil stuff around here, nobody seems to bother to come and camp or hang out in the water and stuff. He's just like, so it's true, that there's witches out here. She was like, oh, I never said that. But you guys are like, I don't know why she's acting like this in a way, like she thinks that the land is hers. She's like, well, you guys are more than welcome to stay. And then she just walks off and she leaves. And the guy's just like, are we gonna fucking stay here? And everybody's just like, it's probably nothing. She probably lives like, I don't know, like back there somewhere in the woods. Because, they did say there's abandoned houses. Maybe that they're still in those houses. You don't know that. So everybody else kind of brushes it off, but the guy's just like kind of freaked out. And then the sun's starting to set. Everybody's, having a swim. And the day, a few hours go by. And it's dark already. And everybody's sitting by the campfire. And somebody's telling a little scary story, And then they hear howling. And this ain't like a normal howl, like how you like a dog howl or a wolf howl. This is like people howling. And then everybody gets up and they kind of jolt up and everybody's kind of freaked out, like, what the hell's going on? And then one of her friends is just like, we should have left today. And, and then one of the guys is like, you know what? Like, this is like, you guys want to, he's going to say like in an evil way, like, I thought everybody wanted an adventure.
Mm.
So the girl was like, yeah, we should go look at it. We should go look, see what's going on. And everybody just kind of follows each other as they start walking through these little paths. And all they have is their flashlight from their phone, so they can't really see much. And then they're walking. A few minutes go by, and one of the girls is just like, we should really go back. Like, this is not safe. They come across a cave, and in this cave, you can see kind of like a fire coming from the inside, like I guess like a gaze. I don't know what to call it. Like, you can see it on the wall where there's like a fire in the cave. And the guys are just like, like, we should just leave now. Something doesn't seem right about this. And the girl's like, no, trust me, like, we should go look.
Jenny.
Yeah, Jenny, the one that got freaking possessed or whatever. And they go, she kind of like walks, she starts walking in first, and then she's just like, come on, guys, let's go look at this.
Yeah.
And as they're walking in, there is a group of 5 women that are just standing there in like a gown with a hoodie type stuff, and like what looks like to be blood all over them. And on the wall, on the cave wall, there's like that pentagon.
Yeah.
Is it like a pentagon? Pentagram. And the guys are just like, F this, and they all start running. And as they're running, they hear more footsteps. Like, they hear like people running, like coming towards them too. And everybody's just like, we need to hurry the hell up and this and that. And as soon as everybody gets in the car, it's weird because Jenny's already there. Like, she's already in the car. She's like, oh my God, she's acting like, everybody's like, we gotta get the hell out of here. And everybody's just like, kind of freaked out, but they were like, nobody could see what was going on because it was dark, and they were like, let's just go. So they get to the hotel where they had stayed the night before, and everybody, they rent a room. And as, when they check in and all that, they go up to the room and they sit down. They're like, Jenny, like, what are you doing? You're not acting yourself. She's just like, what do you mean? Like, that was scary, Like, she's trying to like play it off, kind of. But at this point, what they don't know is that Jenny has something that's following her now. And this, whatever this thing is, wants to take all their lives. So the next day comes, Sunday, and everybody goes home. They drive home. And when they drop off Jenny, her mom picks her up. And her mom's just like, how was it, sweetie? She was like, oh, it was abnormal. She was like, what do you mean abnormal? She's like, well, I made new friends. And, I made what you call it? Like, I made a very special friend that, what you call it? I don't know, whatever. She was like, she kind of made like a special friend that night. That kind of. She was like, he said he's gonna protect me and stuff. And she's just like, honey, what do you mean? Like, where were you going with this? She's just like, oh, nothing. So her mom kind of brushed it off. She was like, it's probably whatever they were doing. They were probably smoking something. They get to the house. Jenny showers. She eats something. Hours pass by. She gets ready for bed. And that night, she has like a night terror and she kind of starts remembering everything that was happening. The first night she blacked out, something went to grab her and took her to that cave. And she was laying, when she got, she was like in the third person view. and she could see herself laying there. There was these people, like these kind of witch type people, like with their hands all clawy and noses, big noses and stuff, and they were pouring like blood all over her. But at that point, she could kind of hear what they were saying, and she was going to be the sacrifice. And what she didn't understand is how come she's still here, you know? Anyways, that night when she woke up from that dream, she woke up at 3 a.m. But this was like sleep paralysis. She couldn't move, and she saw a dark shadow in the corner. But once the dark shadow started moving towards her, she could see horns. And like instead of hearing like regular, like footsteps, she could hear almost like if it was a horse, like yeah, like hoofs. Like almost like you know how when women wear heels, you can hear it. It was like that coming towards her.
Yeah.
And kind of like with the moonlight, she could see like claws, like big claws. And then this thing spoke to her, and he was just like, I'm here for you. Like, you're coming with me. And then she woke up, but it was like 3:10. So this was like, she was like, holy crap, like whatever this is was real right now, whatever happened. Because she was like, I looked at the time and it was 3. You know how you can only like, you can't even move your head, you can kind of just like look around. She was able to see the time and it was 3. And you know what they say about 3? It's the witching hour. And the very next morning when she was getting ready for school, she was kind of telling her mom, like, Mom, like I really don't want to go to school today. I'm not feeling good. And her mom's like, like, what's wrong? Like, did you get sick from the trip? Like, what happened? She was like, no, I don't feel good. Like, I'm not, like, something's bothering me. She's like, like, what is it, honey? Like, you want to just stay home today? She's like, yeah. So she lets her stay home. And Jenny starts to get really sick. She's not eating. She's not sleeping anymore. A few weeks pass by and her mom's just like, like, let me take you to the doctor because this isn't right. She takes her to the doctor. And when they take her to the doctor, they do x-rays, they do blood work and all that. Apparently in her blood work, there's a high level of lead in her blood work. So at this point, it was just like the mom was just like, what did you guys do that night when you guys went to the camping trip? And she was just like, can't really remember. Her mom's just like, did you drink that night? She was like, no, of course not. She's like, well, how are you not gonna remember? Did you guys smoke? Did you guys do something? She's like, Mom, I didn't do none of that. And then when the doctor came in, he was just telling her mom, like, her drug screen was fine. So she believed her. And a few days go by, and Jenny just dies because of the lead poisoning. And I guess when you read about this story, it tells you that in that cave, when people have gone in there to explore, really explore, they come out and they get lead poisoning. And it's just like, that's like really odd for, something. But I don't know. That's just, I don't think I've heard a story like that where, you know, I'm guessing that instead of the lead poisoning, that cave was cursed or something, to whoever walks in there will die eventually. Her friends, oh, you'll find that weird. I feel like her friends kind of tricked her.
They knew they needed a sacrifice.
I mean, I was like, when I read about it, I was like, maybe the friends were the ones that sacrificed her or something. I don't know. I thought that because I was like,
Listen, I've never been in Miami. I know. I always see those movies and some shows where like there's something around you, but you can't see out of the
I
tent.
hate that because you're in
And
the
then you
tent,
like you see something push the tent. You don't know what it is. It could be an animal. It could be
and
a
then they
person.
start messing with the tent and
Yeah,
stuff. The
because
camera's
it's
already
quiet.
overheating.
Like I remember watching this one guy camping.
Mm-hmm.
He's quiet, just sitting in his tent, and he hears footsteps. But he's in nature, and they're making noise. So he's like they're wolves. They're no, they're I think coyotes
Mm-hmm.
or hyenas, and they're just going around the tent, just like like howling, barking, do whatever they do. And he can't see them. He can only hear. That's the creepiest part. I feel like when
It's
you
almost
can't
like,
hear what you can't see what you can hear.
yeah,
I don't like hearing that.
it's like the bell witch, no?
Yeah,
Pause that for a second.
that will creep me out. You know?
Those are coyotes laughing.
Oh, coyotes. Yeah. He knows what they are because he's a nature man. You know what I mean? Though he can't see it. He just has to go by sound.
Yeah. But like, I feel like if you were carrying, you'd fire off your shit. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think anything will bother you. You know.
Sorry, it went to another video.
No, I was listening. Yeah,
Sorry,
it's
guys.
not, it's not. He always hits the camera.
Sorry.
He, don't mess with the Ouija board unless you're into that stuff. You know,
That's why I stopped playing that one game.
it's completely up to you. So he was playing a game. I think in one of our earlier videos, he was playing. What is it called?
Phasmophobia.
Phasmophobia.
And that word is a fear of ghosts.
Yeah. And he was actually opening doors.
I didn't know.
It's one of our friends in Mexico told us all the way from over there that one of your sons is opening doors accidentally. I
He
guess.
doesn't mean to, but he's doing.
Yeah. So recently we had a snowstorm in Nashville. I know a lot of people got affected by it, and I guess we've had 5 deaths so far.
A little over, I think.
That's sad. And it's funny because it's not funny. Sorry, it's not funny, but it's funny because the governor, or is it the governor or the mayor? No, the governor rejected help from other states
I think it's either the governor or the
because the mayor was talking about uh they needed help,
It
but
wasn't the mayor. It wasn't the
yeah,
governor. I think it was the one that sent out the people for this type of stuff. The one that controls it. I'm not sure what they're called. I'm not sure who it is. I don't think it was the governor.
what's his name? Oh no, not FEMA, but
No,
fucking whatever. That's fucked up.
they denied. They denied the help from
Help from other states, right? Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the story that I told today. The board is gone. That park stayed quiet, but whatever answered never said goodbye. And somewhere in the dark, it's still waiting to finish that message. You guys have a good night. I'll see you in the next episode.